Hey guys, how's it going? It's me. It's Tuesday afternoon, about 1:20, and um, gonna post here to the dashboard. Tuesday afternoon streaming some updates and working on agent books. Watch here. Tuesday afternoon, streaming some updates and working on agent books. Watch here. Boom, boom, and then we'll click, make sure it's working. Some updates and working on agent books. Watch here. Boom. All right, so we're good there. All right, so let's get started with over here. So over here, I've kind of used this as a uh, section for anything. So if I've taking notes along the way, or I don't know, whatever, I've been using this as an anything section. The uh, and I will continue to still use it that way. But I am going to try to always maintain in this area. I was actually thinking about doing it, having like um, different WordPad documents. So I think in the future, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a WordPad document that I'll bring up here, that is our upcoming topics, and then I'll bring another document on top of it where I can put my notes for whatever it is that I'm talking about, and then maybe another WordPad document for whatever other purpose. So just have different documents that I can bring into this section, um, for having a visual aid during the streams. But one of them will be upcoming topics. And so um, here, what you'll see the things that I'll be talking about tomorrow or the next day or the day after that. So if you're watching a stream and I'm talking about whatever, and you're wondering about what I might be talking about next, or the next day, or a few days down the road, um, you'll have some visibility into that. And then second, requests. So if you have a request of any kind, something that you want me to discuss or cover, um, send me a text or drop me an email or post here on the dashboard. Hey Steve, could you talk about whatever? And then I will add that to the list of upcoming topics. Same thing with training classes. So if there's a training class that you want me to host, or just some general topic that you want me to cover, definitely feel free to let me know. And I will add that to the list of stuff that is coming up. Okay, so those two things we have covered. Whoa, wrong color. let's let's make them white. There we go. All right, red's not good. Red's like make them green because we've discussed them. Um, So yes, every stream I do, I will post the upcoming topics here, at least at some point. Actually, it'll always be at the beginning, because I'm trying to make the first 10 minutes be the brief stuff, right? Um, so this will always be shown in the first 10 minutes. In fact, I'll put a note here for myself. I think I'll remember, obviously, but first 10 minutes. Um, I'll probably start the stream with this particular document open. Yeah, and then yeah, if you have requests, let me know. Okay. Um, I want to refine this, and things are going to evolve, right? So as you can already see it happening, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's going to be fun to see how uh, how things end up 3 months from now, 6 months from now. I'm pretty interested to see where this evolves. Um, with that being said, the third thing is Meridian sample prints. So, what that is this is for the agent books. If you remember last week, we did a stream, probably midweek. This would be the third week of November. Um, we did a lot of this um, Photoshop work. So, this is the after. If I click this layer here, this is layer 5. That's the layer where we did all of our work. And then the background layer is the original photo. So if I click little here on the eye, it will hide. I'm clicking the eye, it hides the layer, and it will reveal the before photo in the background. So I'll do that now. So there's our before, and there's our after. Before, after, before. So you just kind of glance around as I do before and after. And you can see all the different things that we edited last week. Now, this is much more than you would want to do for marketing a listing. You don't want to misrepresent a property, but this isn't for marketing a listing. We're not selling this property. This is for a brochure, right? It's for our agent books. And um, so for marketing purposes, not the sale of a home, it's okay to do this. There's a noise, and I don't know where it's coming from. I think it's outside. So it was very weird though. You guys probably couldn't hear it. It was a very kind of high pitched noise. Lasted for about 20 seconds. Okay, so you wouldn't want to do this level of Photoshop work to a listing, but for marketing purposes, that's not a listing. It's fine. But some of the techniques that we used, you could use for like getting rid of this piece of trash that's in the grass. So anything that's a temporary object, I want to Photoshop out this garbage can. Things that are temporary or movable, those things you can eliminate from your photos. You'll use the tools in a different way, but you'll use those tools to accomplish the same result or the desired result. Um, okay, so I'm just looking to see other stuff that we could do here. We have this manhole cover, and the manhole cover itself isn't a bad deal. It's not like, oh my gosh, there's a manhole cover, the photo is ruined. But you do have, it's a distraction, right? So I'm going to click on the rubber stamp tool again. We'll go to 50 points, and we'll alt click to get our base. I'm going to alt click to get another base, and whoops, that noise is back again. It's definitely outside. It sounds like a truck doing some work or something, like almost like a bigger, like it's a couple blocks away, but it's a bigger vehicle doing something. So just alt clicking to get my source, and then essentially just painting away the stuff that I want to edit out. So I see how there's this natural line right here. It's lighter on the top and darker down to the bottom. So So it's lighter up here and darker down here. So I'm going to alt click right there so that when I paste or when I drag down, it preserves that same separation, or at least generally does. So I should have gone a little longer. Some things didn't match up just right, so we'll just go right here. So you can see it starts to because it remembers what was there. So we'll go a little bit further out. I'm going to steal some color from up here. I'm spending way too much time on this little section because nobody is going to notice. So when you get to that kind of view, it's just like it's not even happening. You can't even tell. Of more importance, though, would be this guy right here. So we have um, that, and again, it's not that it's bad that that's in the photo. It's just that it distracts from the what we want to have focus, right? Clearly, what we want to have focus is the street lamp and the fence line and the building and the nice contrasty um, trees behind, and this just distracts a little bit. And so what we can do is I'm going to go to the clone tool. We'll click on the size up here. We'll increase it to like 40 pixels. And then we will alt click to grab our select area or our source area. Every once in a while I'm going back out and grabbing new source. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller now. And then a little bit smaller still. Okay. Don't need to get all this yellow gone. It'll disappear. That's the nice thing about Photoshop work like this, where it's just concrete, is it has imperfections already. So we had this shadow line that was already coming down this way. So you remember this part of this shadow line here was already there. So we just brought it all the way down. And I'm looking to see if is there like a crack here that like do we Photoshop away a crack? And there's not. So this is the counterpart here on the left hand side. And so what we're looking at here, there's no missing crack lines. So we didn't Photoshop anything away. I could make this a little bit nicer. In fact, it's probably that same area. I think I am seeing that same area from before that I didn't like too much, or that we decided was okay. Trying a different select area there. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Just trying to get a nice even shadow line. And shadows don't set even, so and I don't even know if it's really a shadow or if it's concrete color. That's the question. But either way, it matters not, because that looks great. It matters not because your eye's never going to catch that. Here and here. Okay. Go here. maybe a little bit of this. Go larger again, 40 pixels. Have a little bit of rainbowing. You can see where if you clone too much, you can see how we have this little half circle here, half circle here, half circle here. And so what you get is you can start to see that somebody used the clone tool because there's replication in some of you can see some patterning. So I'm just doing some follow-up work here to break up those patterns so that you won't be able to, again, the eye won't be able to catch it. Some of those patterns, if you can see the patterning, sometimes you do get into where you can see it. If you can see the patterns, then it's a matter of if the patterns are visible, then it begins to look like somebody photoshopped it. And that is obviously not what we're going for. So if you can avoid having any patterning, your finished product will be much more undetectable. Let's see. There's a little white piece of debris here in the street. That's easily solved. I don't think these were even visible until I zoomed in, but we're there, so might as well. There's a little bit right here. That's okay to do as well. Anything in the street, you want to clean up a street and make it a little more debris free, that is totally fine. But you would not want to eliminate a manhole cover because obviously that's there, it's part of the house, and to hide it because it's ugly would be a misrepresentation. And honestly, how ugly can a manhole cover really be? People don't notice. I'm largely now in these details. We got most of the big stuff done in the stream that we did last week. If we get this lined up right. See, the lines are hard. If you don't get that line perfect, you can see how they're not going to match. So I'm just going to undo the last couple things I did. I forget what I was just talking about. Oops. That's for some keyboard shortcut for Photoshop. Also invokes that keyboard shortcut for the streaming software. And that it probably is okay just like that, honestly. But I feel like I need to give it just a little bit of attention. And I'm just going to check here by drawing this line. So it's going to do a line of here to there. Yeah, so this is the line that's already there. So this is a cut over. This is a curb cut. This comes like this, and they're not going to match. So it's not about matching this point to this point. It's about continuing that line straight. So in fact, sorry, I keep doing that. If I get rid of this and show it before, well, that's actually interesting. That's very interesting because this is the image, right? So you can see how they just don't. Whoops. they don't match. And so now that we're getting rid of that manhole cover there, okay, you can see here it comes down and then it cuts across. Might that be what's happening here? There's two different lines. I think that's probably what it is. I could probably steal this and then paste it. Uh-oh, where'd you go? I missed it. I lost it. It's okay. We'll steal it again. So we're going to steal this, and we're going to go to here. We'll paste it. This will give us our just kind of a blend to work with here. And then I can get rid of a lot of this stuff. Get rid of the excess here. Oops, and then the piece that remains, we could just drop the opacity on it. That'll blur everything out. Or not blur everything out, but it'll let's just see how that looks now. So all we needed was a little bit of a soft line there, and that soft line just to show. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm satisfied with that. So I'm gonna merge these two layers now. Merge those layers. And then now that that's done, I can use the smudge tool and I can blend this stuff back in. And that will make the line softer, and that looks legit. Okay, cool. And then I don't know where I did some work. Well, it's good. I'm having a hard time figuring out where I did work. I think I can't tell if I did this side and this side. This side I can tell. So let's just grab some stuff from different places. Okay. No, that's bad. And again, a lot of this is probably overkill at this juncture, but I like it. I think it's kind of just fun just to clean up stuff. So I'm definitely guilty of that. Because when you're done, I mean, it's cool. I like being able to go to a photo that I spend some time on, and I like doing this before, after, before, after, before, after, before, after. So, there's a lot of stuff we did. And honestly, when we first opened the video, when I first started the stream, I think this was the image that I had up first. And when you look at it, you're like, okay, yeah, that looks good. And you don't see that all this work has been done. And that's the key. If you can't tell, then you did good. If you can't tell, then you did good. So I think I'm satisfied with that. And we're just going to run this test. So the test is, again, we're doing, I guess what I should do is save. So I'm in the RGB color space, which is red, green, blue. That's for editing for screen, for computer monitors and television. But for print is CMYK. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to just save it as Meridian OpenOffice round 2 .psd. Okay, and then what we're going to do is image mode CMYK, that's Alt IMC, and then yeah, we're going to flatten the image. That's fine. It's going to get rid of all these layers. Let me check something here. What is this layer 6? Layer 6 is some work that we did here. I like it better. That's probably why I didn't merge layer 6 in. I think I liked it better without it. So I liked it better not this way, but that way. And why did I like it like that? Maybe because it just broke it up. It felt more natural or something. I'm going to go with my instinct on that. I'm going to leave that one as it sits. So yeah, I can do Alt IMC. That will allow me to flatten the layer. And then I can do Alt IAU. That'll take me to curves. When you're in the CMYK color space, dragging to the lower right is what lightens. I want to do one raw though here. So we're going to do save as. We'll do test1.tiff. TIFF is a tagged image file format, which is good for images that you're going to go to press with. So TIFF files, good for CMYK press work. So save as test1.tiff, and that's all correct. And then we'll make our first adjustment here, which we'll do kind of a small adjustment. Before, after, before, after, before, after. And we'll call this, I should check, make sure, image size. Yeah, I want to do 300 dpi images. So we're going to go back to where we were. Image size, uncheck resample image, and go up to 300 dpi. Whoops. Wow, that's a big image. Is that right? It's 73 by 42 at 72 dpi. And so at 300 dpi, yeah, it's still, that's a big image, which we don't need. So I'm just going to do that resample without resampling first, then we'll resample down to our test size. Let's call it 6 inches would be more than we need. It's going to sit on an 8.5 by 11 inch paper. We'll just call it 7.5. I know it's not that significant. We'll do 7. I think 7 is going to give us still more space than we need. Alright, so we're going to do OK on that resize. And then we will start saving. So file, save as, test1.tiff, and yep, we'll replace that image, and then we'll do our first round change. We'll do test2.tiff, and then we'll go back, and then we'll go a little bit more. We'll call this test3.tiff, and then we'll go back again, and then we'll go that's going to be too bright. You can see we lose some of the edges in the tree. So this is the before, after. So that tree gets to starts washing away. So honestly, I think if we do what we did before, because there we still have those edges mostly. And then we do check the saturation here. What if we bring the saturation up a little bit? So here's an extreme example, oversaturated. Um, but there's a space between our raw image, which is 0, and Crazyland. There's a space in here, usually around 15 to 20. Here, I'll give you like 25 just so you can see. So there's our before, after, before, after, before, after. And it's changing some of the blues quite a bit here in the street. That's where it's really dominant. But if you ignore that for a second, in fact, I'll just I'm going to cancel. We'll zoom in, and we'll just look at image adjustments, hue saturation. So here's just the brick. See how the brick just pop a little bit more? There's a little bit brighter. Everything gets a little bit less dull. But I'm not 100% sure it's worth it given everything else that we've got going on, but let's try it. So we're going to hit OK. We'll do save as, and we'll call this test4.tiff. And then let's try, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Let's check the exposure, or the exposure I think I can only do when I'm in RGB. Is that true? Image mode, RGB, image adjustments. Yeah, so there's the exposure. So I was going to do exposure. It's just overexposed. So again, it's you mess with the exposure even a little bit, and you start to lose that tree. Image, and you start to get stuff starts to get washed out, like the doorway there. It starts to flare away. So I don't think I need to worry about that. Exposure was fine. Let's take a look at, we just did saturation. We did levels, or sorry, we did curves and saturation. I don't think there's much more beyond that. We can check the shadows and highlights, I suppose. Hey, sweetheart. Yes, I would love some food. Okay, we were doing PB&J or something? She says it's embarrassing. You're very cute. That's just awesome. Um, yeah, it's very nice. She offered me a peanut butter and jelly, so I will take her up on that. So it's not a whole lot that I really want to do to this image. There's a, darn it, I keep doing that. So this is our I'm going to go all the way back to here. So this is our image before after that we were doing, right? So this is where we were. And this light right here, I just caught my eye. So I'm not sure, like this light, the street lamp, and this light, I think bring character. But it might make it look flat. No, I think I'm going to leave it. Probably the same reason I left this. You go too far and it starts to look like not real anymore. So let's go ahead and try leaving the brightness the same, but messing with the saturation. Before, after, before, after, before, after. It's not too bad. Let me try the vibrance. Vibrance, I've always found vibrance and saturation to be the same. In fact, here's saturation again in the vibrance palette. Um, I'd love somebody one day to teach me the difference between, wow, the vibrance doesn't do a whole lot. It does a lot in the street in the blues. Similar to the saturation, right? So let's try like 20 of both. Before, after, before, after. So it's just making it more vibrant. It's saturating the colors more, and making it a little bit more vibrant. So it brings a little life to it. So I like that. I think let's make it one of our proofs. But I know that this is going to be too dark. Um, at least I think it is. So let's actually just leave this one. Let's call this test 5. Oh, I got to do my other stuff first. Sorry. Um, image, unsample, 300, image, resample, well, we decide 7, and then image mode, CMYK. All right, now we'll do test 5, test5.tiff, and then we'll do one that's a little bit lighter, but not that light. Let's want a little bit lighter. How's that? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we'll call that test 6. And I suppose for posterity, we should just do one more at that lighter level. We'll call this test 7. Whoops, .tiff. And then we'll go to InDesign. We have the flyer that's up here from when we did the flyer stream, the flyer/mailer stream. That was also second week or third week of November. Cool listing. This is an old listing. I think I was using this as a, oh, I know what this was. I was fixing the template because there was some spacing that needed to be corrected. All right. Nevertheless, we're going to do File, New, Document, and let's make it 4 pages, I think. And I don't need facing pages. It's not a booklet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the 4, 5, 6, 7 sample pages that we made, and place them all in an InDesign file, so that we can save it as a PDF. And that's a search. So we were in Photoshop and we were saving stuff. Where were we saving it? In the ASD folder on the desktop. My favorite folder of them all. The ASD folder is like the folder of everything. Everything goes into that folder. So back to here, Control D to place. Oh, okay, that's the ASD/AS folder, which is my second favorite folder. All right, here we go. ASD, and this is test 1. So test1.tiff, and we'll place that. And then we'll place again. We'll call it test2.tiff. And we'll place that. And I was just thinking about my wife coming in. I told her, I was like, hey, you know what? You can come into the stream anytime you want. This is not a production like a television show. It's just me having you guys participate in my day, right? And so Whether you're watching it today or tonight or tomorrow or whenever, um, it's just me participating, letting others participate in my day. And so that was one, and that's two. And so we'll just do one is plenty fine. And we'll just put that right there. And then we'll copy and paste that. And we'll move it here. And we'll change it to 2. And then let's copy this and this. And we will paste it in place there, paste it in place there, paste it in place there. That's Shift Control Alt V. It forces things to be pasted exactly in the same location that they were on the previous page, or where they were copied from. All right, so then we'll do Control D. This is test 3. And it really doesn't matter how we place these. This is test 4. And again, the only reason that we're doing this is it's hard to know for sure how a given printer, 3 and then 4, how a given printer, it might look dark on the screen, but then it looks great when you print it. Or it might look great on the screen, and then it looks dark when you print it. Or vice versa. So how printers print, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, are going to vary. And so since we're going to be printing a whole bunch of these books, my thought is, why not do a quick sample run, and let's see. Ooh, speaking of that, I need to do an update on the signs. So on the signs, okay, cool. And then I'll remember that later. Okay, 3, 4, and then 5. Doing samples reminded me of the signs, the open house signs. So I'll give you guys an update on that soon, because we had a problem with the printer. These people have been printing our signs forever, and they're just, well, I'll tell you guys when we talk about it. But it's all resolved. So I'll be able to kind of just bring you guys up to speed on all the stuff that we had to deal with to get it done right. Okay, so original, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, and then back to the original with the color change, and then the color change lighter, and the color change lighter still. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this to a PDF file. I'm going to email it to our printer. So for the flyers and the mailers for the new listings, those are smaller print quantities, so we do print those local. So we're going to send this to the local printer, have him give us a couple prints of all these pages. We'll pick which image we feel looks the best, and then we'll use that image for the agent books. So that's it for right now. I will do more streaming tonight, hopefully. If not, definitely tomorrow. But look for some of these topics coming up. And until then, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.